Welcome over to my mom's house. A lot of you guys always ask about this. So this is one I'm always showing you that's across the field. The generational farmhouse. Great grandma and grandpa lived here. Grandma and grandpa, you and dad. So we always do Christmas over here too. This is where I got my love for Christmas, I admit. You often put up 2 Christmas trees at least when we were growing up. You started by only doing 1, but then...
I had one in every room.
You had one in every... Her goal was always have one.
Even the bathroom.
Yeah, we tried that. That was kind of a weird one. The bathroom when we put a toilet paper bow on.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that was a low point of Christmas, but it was a good memory. So this is the dining room. This is kind of a fun tree, and I do the same thing if you watch my Christmas tree video at my house. I put it up in an antique urn, and we have another one of those cast iron mounts made for the inside so you can fit the tree inside of it. If you want to see more of that, I kind of show it on my video. But it just helps so we can make a tree look taller. We have 9-foot ceilings in here, but then also make it so it's not so wide down the ground. I think it makes it easier to walk around.
Well, and you can put gifts under it.
Well, and all the, like my nieces and nephews, your grandkids, they all come, and so it just makes it easier, and yes, gifts too, but I just think it looks good when there's not gifts then too. It's just kind of a nice way. It's almost like the tree is planted. So my trees, we all do usually different colors. Growing up, this one often, I remember you would put faux poinsettia flowers on, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of that maroony and
goldy.
golds.
Yeah.
It was the
and
90s.
Bows too.
That we put
and bows.
Oh, the 90s. It was a very 90s tree, but it was very, at the time, it felt very good.
Yeah.
So we do it different now. We're going, again, I love to be able to set out all the ornaments. It's just a nice way to do it so you can kind of see what you're having to work with. I always start, and I think you did this too, especially when there's bigger garlands. It's easier to put those on first because we kind of push those into the tree.
The big ones.
The big garlands. Like we can start with the garlands and then kind of push them in, and then we move on to the big ornaments and work down from there. It's just an easier way to do it. So color tone wise, it's not that it goes with the room, it's just kind of what we enjoy. So it's a lot of silvers, a little bit of gold, some kind of woodsy tones with like the white birch look, the bronzes. So we're gonna start by putting these garlands on, and we have 2 types. The first one we're gonna put on is this paper birch garland, and it's fun because you can manipulate it and kind of push it in, wrap it however you want, and then we'll offset it with this fun silvery like leaf garland. I think you could find this out in the forest probably if you were foraging, right? I'm joking. You couldn't. I'm sorry, I had to. No, at Christmas it never seems normal, but you just do the fun because you enjoy it. So let's start by putting this one, I think, always on the bottom. If you want to take that one and kind of push it around with me, we'll kind of work it into the tree. And this one, I like to kind of push in and manipulate so you see it and it looks like it's somewhat standing upright. So you can kind of lift these as you go. It's kind of a fun papery color, I think, too, and it kind of is just a muted tone, and so it goes with a lot of things. You can kind of, twist it around there. You can kind of lift some up as you're going and make sure, and then set them back down. So we're going to put this one on first, and then we're going to put the silver garland on, and then we'll move on to ornaments. So we've put in all this garland. Mom was actually saying that she thought it looked good enough that if you really wanted a simple tree, you could kind of stop here. I think it kind of still shows a little bit of the, it makes the birch garland look not quite right. And what we'll kind of finish it now is putting in some of these large ornaments. I like to, just for scale, put some large ornaments on a tree, kind of mix them with smaller. It's just kind of a fun thing to play on depth perception. So you always start with the biggest ones just because
that's true, that's bigger.
You can't get them,
well, and you never have
you don't want to end with a big one on the outside because that would never quite work.
And a person never has as many of the big ones.
No, I never do. And what I love about putting them down into a tree, especially with a faux tree, is you can manipulate a branch. Again, you can bend it to make sure it's gonna fit. You can find a really sturdy one to put it on, and then you can really push it into the center of the tree so it kind of has light bounce off of it. It kind of, to me, just really finishes a tree when you can do that. And it kind of is what makes it a little bit more special because you have all different sizes coming at it from different places. So some are coming in deep, and then some of the smaller ones keep coming out. So we're gonna keep putting on some of these larger ones, which we have a mix. We have just large spheres. Some of them have gold on them with some etching almost. These are all new, just different ones you can find at different places. I scour whatever place has Christmas ornaments just because you never know what you'll find that will be unique and fun to add to your tree. So we're gonna keep putting these on. We're gonna move on to some other fun ones. These are like the base. and then we move on to the fun. We go back and forth. We're moving on to other kind of the mid-sized ones. And again, with, you know, any of our trees, I am totally fine with doing high-low. They don't all have to be glass. These are like a foam actually, but they look kind of like a birch, so they match that garland, and they're very lightweight. The thing is, have we ever had a real tree?
No.
Okay, we've never had a real tree, so I'm just not used to them for one. And honestly, for me now, it's become more of a thing where with a faux tree, you can manipulate it however you want. So you can hang really big, heavy ones inside. You can bend a branch around to make it fit. And I really like that. So the whole time that we are working with a tree, and Grandma, my mom's mom, taught me this, you always step back, always, as you're doing it, keep stepping back and really look at it overall to decide, one, are the lights on right? She was back with the tree, that her tree, do you remember you had to put each branch in separately and then wrap the lights as you did it? And she wanted to do that on her own. She never wanted help because she had to get the lights placed just right so they pointed outwards. You get where my pickiness comes from. So she would always say you have to step back from a tree, especially when you're putting a nice one like this together, and make sure that you're spacing the ornaments, you know, all over the tree. So we only have like 5 or 6 of these ones. So we want to make sure we have them evenly around and that I'm not getting them too close to maybe where I have another one. So I'm kind of going around and just making sure that they're doing that. So as we go pick up other ornaments, we look back and we see if they're placed right. So we're gonna keep putting on kind of this middle size, and you can see as we do this, like already it's coming together, and you could really stop at any point along the way, but I'm really bad at knowing when to stop. So I keep going. So after we get on most of the ornaments that are more traditional ornaments, we kind of move on to more of the like fun ones. So we have some animal, just like flats that are cut, kind of die cut, that are just glittered all over. And again, the glitter, obviously it's a glitzy, glamoury tree. That's Mom. Mom likes a lot of glitz and glamour. She does. She's the jewelry queen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and what do you want for Christmas, Mom?
Diamonds.
Okay, every time. Doesn't get them, but she asks. So we kind of end with this fun stuff that, and what is fun I think about glitter, I don't know if you agree, Mom, but is it kind of just adds a lot of, it kind of bounces around the tree, right?
And the light glistens, I mean, yeah, it's just adds, yeah.
What was your tree like growing up? I'm gonna guess at that time you didn't put together a tree.
Oh, it just had colored ornaments, colored lights, you know, the old fashioned.
Like the shiny bright lights?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Wait, like big light bulbs though? No. Small light bulbs, I would assume.
You know, I'm
right?
guessing when I was little, they were the big ones.
Really? Is that all they had?
And then we went to the smaller ones.
Really? Oh, that would have been kind of fun though, actually. Grandma always did colored lights, right?
Yes, always.
And I always remember her having, she would always put actual candy canes on the tree. Did she do that when you were young?
That I do not remember.
Okay, probably not for you guys. When I was young, she always had candy canes, and we couldn't have one until after dinner, but before gifts were opened, which would kind of hold us off. It was kind of fun. So we're gonna put the rest of these on. Then some of these, again, guys, I'm obsessed with mushrooms, and I wouldn't say, Mom, or do you like mushrooms?
I like mushrooms.
Okay, I wouldn't say she's obsessed, but she enjoys them, so we kind of just intersperse them. And again, what I like is it adds this woodsy element. Like, not really, but it tricks your mind. So a mushroom, it kind of goes along with this woodsy, glitzy, glamoury. It is a woodsy, glitzy, glamoury tree. I think that's what we're calling it. So we're gonna put the rest of these fun things on, then just finish up.
Hang that one up there. It will hang it down just like an icicle would up there on that empty spot. Yeah, perfect. It will hang just like an icicle. I always like, yeah, perfect.
Okay, so we're finishing up by putting on a few kind of icicles. Again, it's all about getting it to be glitzy and kind of have a lot of things that shine light off of. And since this is right in front of what is a farmhouse front door, but a front door that no one ever uses because it's far from anywhere you would park or anything, but you see it really well from the road. So having that kind of, we try to still put it somewhat around the back too, because then you still get that light bouncing to the back of the tree and off the back and out onto the road. And so it just adds a really good. We also finished it off with some birds. I don't know, I like birds in a tree.
Yeah, and you just have to nest them, so you just put them in, and
they
just look like they came
we
in.
a lot of, not all of them, but a lot of times we try to find ones that have clips, so you can clip them on, and I think that helps. You loved birds, Grandma, your mom,
My mom loved
birds too,
Yeah.
and it always felt like a tree just kind of needed to have birds seen in it, even ones that are covered in glitter. Why, I don't know. To finish this tree off, don't know. I've done a lot of different things over the years.
We've had stars.
At one time, I tried to make like a whole flower arrangement up there, and I would have stuff shooting out all over.
Feathers.
Yeah, and it was too much. I mean, it was at the time it felt fun, but I feel like now anymore it's almost just a little too much. So this it's a new piece that we look for stuff. Okay, when we were young, this was the queen. What would we do the day after Christmas?
We went and looked for Christmas ornaments and stuff.
We would scour stores that would have half off because, they had to get rid of it. And we would look for things, and that's where we'd get new stuff then for the next year. And it was always fun because you'd get a good deal on it and then be able to kind of just hoard it away until the next year. So this just looks like an old weather vane, which is what I kind of like, but it's actually made for the top of a tree.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it just kind of finishes it off.
Makes me want to sing Partridge in a Pear Tree.
I think I got it last year on sale when I couldn't actually decorate anything, but.
Yeah, I like
this
it.
This is the tree. It kind of is fun, and your trees too, we kind of morph them year to year. So as the collection changes or grows, we maybe put something else on and don't put on one of the items that we're not going to use for a while, and it kind of just grows and changes. So it's kind of fun, and it's really where I got my love for Christmas is right here doing these, except the one year I do remember that Dad took Kelsey and I away to go do some chores at the turkey house, and you decided to decorate this tree all by yourself in the dining room because you just wanted to do it alone. And
Wonder why?
That was scarred for life. No, I'm joking. So I hope what this does is more just inspire you and excite you about Christmas to try something new, to do something, just to have fun with it. Because you know what, trees can be so different and they're tailored to what you like. So share this around because it really helps me when these videos get shared. Talk about it, comment on it, check my website, wiseguy.com for more tips, for recipes, anything to enjoy the holidays. I am so used to enjoying them with family and having so many traditions, so I hope that you can start some of your own or carry some of these into your homes and do the same thing. So we're gonna keep decorating because it doesn't stop at one tree, guys. No, there's more. So we're gonna keep decorating. We're gonna just enjoy it. I hope you can too. I think it needs like one more of the birds over here. We have a few more of the clippy ones.